Staring at a problem all day, forcing a solution that refuses to come. Eventually you surrender, turn off the lamp, and pull up the covers. And the absolute second your head hits the pillow, it arrives. The perfect answer. But now you are lying there in the dark, dead tired, negotiating with yourself about whether to get up and write it down. Society usually dismisses this as a random coincidence or a quirky side effect of simply being relaxed. This arrival is a deliberate delivery that the waking mind was neurologically incapable of receiving. Your brain has been trying to transmit this suppressed signal for hours. During the day, your waking consciousness is incredibly loud. You process endless emails, you navigate constant conversations, and execute physical tasks. To actually hear your unconscious mind, you need absolute quiet. Falling asleep triggers a biological process that deliberately dismantles the active mental barriers that block your most creative work. Psychologists call this background processing incubation. It occurs when you hit a wall and walk away from a problem. Your conscious attention moves on, but your unconscious mind immediately takes over. While you are busy making dinner or watching television, that background system is quietly sorting through data. It tests thousands of combinations and searches for patterns entirely outside your awareness. Often, that system finds the solution hours before you even go to bed. The transmission is simply drowned out by the noise of your active, waking thoughts. Giving up on a problem transfers the work to a highly efficient, invisible processor that waits for the noise to stop. The real shift happens when you enter hypnagogia, that highly specific, narrow threshold state right between being fully awake and falling asleep. This graph tracks your brainwaves as you drift off. Fast, logical beta waves drop into relaxed alpha waves, finally hitting deep, edge-of-sleep theta waves. Here, your prefrontal cortex, responsible for logic and judgment, effectively goes offline. Thomas Edison actively exploited this biological window. He would nap in an armchair while holding steel balls in his hands. The moment he crossed into sleep, his grip relaxed. The balls hit the floor, waking him up to record the arriving thought. Salvador Dalí used a nearly identical method, holding a heavy key over a metal plate. He captured the bizarre, unfiltered concepts flowing through his mind before they vanished back into sleep. These figures weren't just using props, they were systematically hacking their own biology to bypass the logical filters that restricted their daytime thinking. During the day, your brain relies on a rigid, step-by-step logic to get things done. That linear process is effective for sending emails or paying bills, but it is unable to make the strange, unexpected creative leaps required for deep problem-solving. When you turn off the lights and stop focusing on specific tasks, a massive system called the default mode network fully activates. This network abandons straight lines in favor of associative processing. It fractures linear logic and builds webs and surprising bridges between totally unrelated memories and concepts. Because the best solutions often defy standard logic, they cannot be reached by linear thinking. They must be caught in these associative webs. Throughout the day, your thoughts are filtered by a layer of social armor. Professional pressure, fear of judgment, and the performance of adulthood keep your thoughts within acceptable boundaries. But lying still in the dark, alone, removes the audience for that performance. Without the need to defend yourself, your internal filters finally drop. This makes the resulting ideas brutally honest. In the quiet of the dark, you are forced to acknowledge the difficult truths and decisions that your daytime self was too guarded to admit. That sudden midnight insight arrives because your logic, linearity, and fear have all been simultaneously disabled. The few minutes before you drift off represent the most cognitively free and creatively powerful state your brain reaches in a 24-hour cycle. Keep a pen and paper next to your bed tonight. When an idea arrives at the threshold of sleep, write it down immediately. Do not trust yourself to remember it in the morning. Your brain at midnight isn't just sleepy, it is finally quiet enough to tell you the truth.